Welcome back, Irredeemables, to Main Abyss Binary Star Falling in the Darkness. It's time for the most anticipated fashion show of this world-renowned hole known as the Abyss, but before we get to that, let's head over to Shiggy's room. Off camera, I went ahead and did all of his missions. Most of them, well actually, almost all of them are just alternating between killing a certain primeval critter and then showing him an artifact from every layer as you go down to the 5th layer, and then he switches to asking just for all the relics in the 5th layer. This is the final request.
Hey, have you ever recovered this relic? I want to see it up close. If you happen to find it, would you mind showing me?
Might have to show you. As you can see, we get a hat from this, and this is the only hat that we're missing as far as I know. And as luck would have it, I have one of those spiraling heat stones.
Hey, isn't that it?
It is.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of different than how it does in the relic records.
Well, you can take a new photo.
That was very educational.
Glad I could help. I'll be taking that hat, sir. And your rope and smoke signal, I guess, as well. So he's done with his quest. There might be other hats, but I don't even want to think about how you get them. Could be like doing all the quests for the guild, which, yeah, there's a lot of those. And they're all obnoxious. They're all obnoxious. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this fashion show online. Go over to the box. First thing we have to do, since I'm carrying, 41 kilograms, I need to get this hat out of here. But let's go ahead and switch over to the status screen. We have the ensemble for the beginner cave raider. For every red whistle gets one of these. It's not a bad looking little ensemble here, all brown. Has one stripe on the legging there. Not too crazy. Let's take a look at it in a darker color, because of course we're going to look at all the color variations. That's what Lethal's been doing. He's getting all the ingredients he needs for all these. Also, a spelling error on this. Cook trousers. I don't think those are cook trousers, but we'll forgive him this time. It also comes in black, and it looks pretty alright. Pretty alright. So let's go ahead and move on to the next. We have the rescuer gear, which is the alternate thing you can get for your red whistle. It is the lightest ensemble in the game. Don't know how heavy it is. Let's actually take a quick look at that, shall we? For how light as we... Actually, it's probably easier from this screen. Yeah, we have like 300, 900, 1350. Yeah, like about 450, I think is what it is. Well, maybe a little bit more. Either way, it is the lightest. And it has a light on it, which is very nice. It's also not a bad looking little costume here. I do like the red and white. Let's take a look at its color variation, which does not look that good. But for demonstrative purposes, we will look at all the color variations. There you go. We have some Broncos style colors, but there's just not enough luminosity. This orange just does not look great. Does not look great at all. But if it was brighter, it would look actually, not irredeemable, unlike most things. Anyway, let's move on to the next. We did the rescue gear. We did the dark. Let's go on to the Scarlet. We saw this, of course, in the regular game, but here it is again in all of its grandeur. I should have made a list of these so I make sure that I don't miss them, but we'll just hope that Lethal does it right. This is probably one of the better looking costumes in this game. Just because the colors look right. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the alternate colors, shall we? Oh, I guess it was the cook stuff next. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. First, let's look at the ocean stuff, which is the alternate colors of the scarlet stuff. The pink here looks just gross. Just gross. If they just made it white, it'd look 100% better, but the royal blue's not bad. It's not bad at all. Well, I guess the cook stuff is what we have to look at next. Let's get the cook stuff online. That's kind of set this off because it's hard to keep track of them. There's so many more hats than there are everything else. And the cook boots. We didn't really see this one the playthrough, but it's not bad. I do like the yellow there. And you do have to do a lot of cooking in the Abyss, so, you might as well have someone dressed as a chef. Let's see the alternate coloring. Let's see. Cook boots, cook gloves, cook trousers, cook jacket, and cook hat. Behold, it is irredeemable. this shade of green and whatever that mustard orange are. What were they thinking? It looks terrible. Alright, let's actually start with the jackets. It might be easier for me to keep track, right? We have the warm jacket, the warm trousers, the warm gloves, and I suppose we'll get the warm hat online now. Too many hats. There it is, the warm hat. This actually looks pretty good. I do like the warm outfit here. It's very, very colorful. It's somewhat bright. It could be a little bit lighter and it would look better, but it's good. Like, if it had better stats, I probably would wear this. That's the thing with all these clothings we have. There's really not a whole lot of reason to wear any of them, because most of them are garbo. Or at least there's a clear winner, I should say. Let's see what the alternate coloring is of the warm ensemble. It's actually one of the better color combinations. Again, it's that, like, green and orange, but it doesn't look as terrible here. Maybe because the black is separating everything. Also, I do not like the sleeves on this. They're not open enough. It just sort of is so fluffy in there, I guess. It's also weird that the thumb doesn't have the same colors as the rest of the fingers, but you know what? I'm sure the designer had the best intentions, and it doesn't look too bad. Alright, let's move on to the next ensemble. We have a lot to see here on the fashion show today. We have the mesh stuff, which is actually pretty great. And actually, I think I misspoke earlier when I said the rescuer stuff is the lightest. This is actually the lightest ensemble of them all. Which one are the mesh gloves? There we go. There we go. I don't know why I keep switching back and forth. This one doesn't look bad. It definitely is the breeziest of our ensembles here today. But if you want to carry a lot of stuff, this is probably what you want to wear. Let's see how much this weighs. I think this one's like 1.45 kilograms or something like that. Yeah, we have 650. That's 1 kilogram. Yeah, 1.45 kilograms. So if you're looking to go light, this is what you wear. Let's go ahead and see the alternate coloring, shall we? Mesh. Now in red. And also blue for some reason. It doesn't look as good. But what could they do to make it better? I think instead of the blue, white. Make it white. Or black even. Black would look pretty great too. Alright. Let's just move on. Let's start with the jacket again. Are we already to the feather stuff? I guess we're already to the feather stuff. Feather stuff. Feather stuff. The shoes kind of throw me off on this one. But there you go. If you ever want to have multicolored feathers on every portion of your body, this is the outfit for you. It's also a bit fluffier. It's probably a lot warmer than it initially looks, just looking at like the shoulders and sleeves. And probably boots too. And thankfully it does have a light on there. Alright, let's see the alternate coloring of this. This is one of the better outfits, so... it's actually a bit further down. Out of order. You're out of order. Let's go ahead and get the Feather Dark online. There you go. It actually looks pretty smart with the purple there. Probably one of the better looking outfits, I'd have to say. Alright, let's get the next outfit online. So we're getting close to the end here. Don't make that derisive noise at me. Alright, did the feather stuff. Now we're doing the extra warm stuff. Just in case the warm stuff was not to your liking, well, now it's EX. EX warm. Where's the EX hat? The EX hat is online. Alright. It definitely does look warm. It's a lot puffier than the regular warm stuff. I'm not sure what that ring on the top of the hat is for. It's like if you fall down, someone can pick you up by the hat. Assuming it's like super glued to my head. That's my guess anyway. It's not a bad looking outfit, but like many of them, it's just so very brown. There's a lot of brown stuff in this, which, you know, to its credit, you may want to have it be brown so you blend in with some of the terrain instead of having it be like purple, which, you know, probably doesn't blend in nearly as well. Alright, let's take a look at the color variation. Not too bad, actually. Not too bad at all. If only I had a reason to wear it. Again, like, they could have expanded this game so things actually do get cold, and you had to wear, like, special warm clothing, but, you know, there have been things cut from this game. I was looking at some of the stuff in the wiki. Apparently there were shelters in this game at one point. So you need to actually sleep in the abyss, and there's a flask as well, so you probably have to drink in the abyss, which is kind of terrifying, actually. So we've seen all those. I was gonna say, it looks like the Scarlet thing. I got confused. I guess we're on to the Bone Jacket, which I think we saw a bit of this when we initially played through the game. Let's get the Bone Hat online. I do have a Bone Hat, right? There we go. There's me Bone Hat. This one is certainly a statement as far as the outfits go. I do, of course, like the yellow. You can't go wrong with a good yellow. The chaps are an interesting choice. Because we don't do... There's not a whole lot of animal riding in the Abyss as far as I've seen. This one's also just got all the belts. You got belts on the ankles, belts on the waist. There's probably hidden belts that we can't see. It's also got a heck of a light on it. Let's go ahead and see the color variation, shall we? Let's see, Bone Jacket. And like many of these, I'm not sure if I'd say it's verifiably worse. It's still pretty good, actually. They're definitely uglier palette swaps, we'll say. Alright, how we doing here? We're getting pretty close to the end, I think. Of this, the regular non-relic outfits. We have the Agile stuff. That's right, this is our final outfit. Agile gloves, and Agile boots, and then finally the Agile kitty hat. Because of course it's got to be a kitty hat. Why would it not be a kitty hat? I mean, you can't go wrong. I also do like the detail of the little paw prints there on the back of the boots. I think that's super cute. And I wish... Oh, there's actually paw prints on the shoulders there, too. I didn't notice until now. Additionally, I wish I could get rid of the backpack so we could see a little more detail. But whatever, right? The backpack has to stay. It's our... It's another emergency sort of thing. Like, if I become incapacitated, someone could put me in the backpack and then easily get me back to the surface. That's why it's so big. Let's see the color variation of this. Let's see, Agile Dark. And here we go. Oh, I missed the hat. Let's get the hat. It's about time I screwed up. Agile Hat, Agile Hat. There we go. Now everything matches. It's pretty alright. They could have probably done more, like making the paw prints that sort of pink lavender color, and that would be pretty cool. But one of the better looking outfits. It's got some pretty decent defense also, as you can see over there. I'm not sure what the weight is. Let's take a look at that real quick. We're looking at about 2 or 3 kilograms here for the complete ensemble. But there you go. There's all the non-relic clothing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the relic clothing, shall we? Yes, we're going to look at relic clothing. Of course we are. We have it. I have some of it. I need to adapt these real quick. Cook gloves and cook boots and the cook hat. There we go. You're all like, why are you putting on a cook hat? Well, of course, because we need to make all these. Could have sworn I made some of these, but whatever. It's all good. Relic hat. I know I didn't make one of those. I didn't make one of these. Relic pants. The gloves I think I have. Did I make the shoes? Let's take a look. You can already get a peek of what all these silliness looks like. There we go. So there's the full relic low-level gear. It's honestly one of the best looking relic sets. They all look ridiculous, but I do like the sort of bone theme we got here. We got ribs on the rib cage. We got some Wolverine claws almost going on. There's also a theme of asymmetry, excuse me, when it comes to these relic outfits, which is actually kind of a nice touch. We have like a fluffy boot on the left foot and then sort of a more bony one on the right. Alright, let's look at the next one. I've been wearing this for most of the later portion of the game, but the high relic stuff with its ridiculous gloves, but we haven't seen the ugly as hell hat, so let's go ahead and get that online. So let's go craft that real quick. Relic hat. There we go. How ugly? It's massively, massively ugly. Why all the hats are so hideous is anyone's guess. But there it is. Again, we have the asymmetry there. And a lot of fluffiness on this one. Is it warmer than the extra EX Worm stuff? Who even knows? But it's definitely one for the runaway as far as that hat is concerned. My goodness. And now, for the most anticipated one, I'm sure, let's look at the incredible, audacious, or actually special grade wear. That's not it. You need to put on all the agile stuff first. So let's get those equipped. Agile gloves and agile boots with the pink laces. And let's go craft those amazing, incredible special relic stuffs. And possibly even things. You can already get a preview of how ridiculous this is going to look. There it is. What were they thinking? What were they thinking? We have gears on the left and we have flutes on the right. I mean, if I punched and kicked people, it looks like the right side would have a lot going for it. How heavy is the hat on this? It's almost a kilogram by itself. The garb, 1.3. The pants are a kilogram. The gloves, only, you know, a few grams. And the relic shoes. Gonna have like that DBZ weight training whenever you put this on, but you also have 1040 defense. So if you're in for a tough fight, you might want to wear this horrible outfit. But there it is. Now we have all that in the book, so let's go ahead and adapt some different clothing here. We're gonna go back to just our beginning wear, and let's go through all the special hats, shall we? Because we got a bunch of these. Got the old Cave Raider hat. I believe we got this from Nat initially. Whenever we just went through some of the main quest lines, it looks very small for my big head. We have, of course, our Patchwork Hat, which we just got from Shiggles. It's interesting in that it weighs only 80 grams. It's a very light hat. It's 95 defense. So again, if you're going for a really light build, this one is probably what you're looking for. It's a headscarf worn by Reg while he was in the Wharf Quarter for a short period, of course. It was handmade by Shiggy. Fantastic. What else we got? We got Nanachi's hat, which also includes her ears. Somehow she grew them back. It's definitely interesting looking. I've always liked this hat. Like, where'd it come from and where's it gonna go? It's got like 4 eyes. Are those from some kind of pre-medieval critter? Or who even knows? And it's got the horns. Those are probably from some kind of critter too. You might be able to blend in with those critters. The feather helmet. This is the one we got from Nat. Well, I'm not sure what that... Oh, the old... Was that the old one? Yeah, that's the one we got from Rico, actually. Excuse me. That's the one we got from doing her quest in Layer 4. This is the one we got from Nat. Whoop, excuse me. From doing his, like, quest. And it's really just a Cave Raider hat with some feathers on it. Which, I mean, you know, make it your own. That's how Nat does it. What else we got? We got so many hats. You saw this one for a good portion of the playthrough. This is the one we got from Habbo, from just running errands for him and his wife, effectively. One of the better hats in the game, and it's ludicrously large. It's also got pretty good defense for what it is. 190, and it weighs 600 grams. It's not too bad. It's also got a light on it, making it probably the most defensive hat that actually does have a light. Ozen's umbrella. We obtained this from finally beating Ozen, which is the hardest fight in the game. No question there. Gives you 500 defense for 1.5 kilograms. Definitely not for your light builds here. But, yeah. It's hard to say. Almost looks like one of those rubber poppers. You may know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, you should look up rubber poppers. You might find out what I'm talking about. It looks ridiculous. And we have 3 more hats. We have Prushka's hat. We got just by going through the normal quest line. It looks pretty good. It's just we have nothing that goes with it. How much does it weigh? 400 grams, 130 defense. It's a hat worn by Prushka. There's not much more to say than that. Maruk's hat, the one with the most light. That's really its claim to fame. 2 flashlights. Who would have ever thought of such innovation other than Maruk? And why doesn't anyone else mimic this sweet hat? If it just had more defense, I'd probably wear it all the time. And then for our final hat, Reg's helmet. 1 kilogram, 300 defense, and probably the best looking hat in the game. It's just, it doesn't go with anything. It also does not have a light, which is very regrettable. Most regrettable. Anyway, that concludes our fashion show for Main Abyss. Meet me next time when we just sort of have a close-off session for the game. I'll see you then.